After a 100-day hiatus, we are back with a brand new set, a fresh look, and a slightly new direction for the podcast. Stay tuned to find out what's in store for the Art of SBA Lending podcast going forward. Hey, thanks for tuning in and welcome back. It feels great to be back in the saddle after 3.5 months. We've been very busy around here, but more on that in a sec. Before we get started, I just wanted to officially announce an event this podcast is hosting in Fort Lauderdale, down here in Florida, December 3rd through December 5th. That's a Friday through Sunday. This will be a BDO retreat for SBA business development officers to come unwind, celebrate their wins, share best practices, and return to work feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. Because I don't know about you, but for me, it's been one hell of a year. It's going to be a very intimate event with only 20 spots available, and there's only 4 left. We've barely done any marketing for the event, and the spots are expected to be filled shortly after this podcast airs. There's no registration fee, simply RSVP to my email, rdrew@fundexsolutions.com. I'll provide the details, and once you book your room in our block, your registration will be confirmed. And I'll provide the email in the show notes below. Now on to the show. When I started this podcast a couple years ago, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that I was craving this kind of content, but it didn't really exist. So we sought out to make it ourselves. A podcast for SBA lenders by SBA lenders. And since launching, the feedback that we've received has been phenomenal. It's that feedback from BDOs all across the country that motivates me to come home after a long week and spend a good chunk of my weekend writing, recording, and editing this podcast. When we first started out, we just wanted to get it off the ground as quickly as possible. And from that point, the podcast has evolved into who we are today. So we decided to give the podcast a little refresher with some new art, new sounds, and a brand new set that represents what this podcast is today. And going forward, we're going to be doing a lot more interviews with the SBA's industry's most talented professionals, folks that have something of value, a nugget that we can take back and use in our own day-to-day lives. Our mission remains unchanged. We're here to help SBA lenders hone their craft and stay focused on their mission to be a top-performing SBA lender. So sit back, subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, and get ready for some brand new weekly episodes. Ta-ta.